So voltage is a potential. So if you think about voltage, it is how much pressure. We're going to do it, compare it to flow. Voltage is sort of equal to pressure in a pipe. And current is equal to the volume flow rate. So the bigger the pipe, the more current you can flow at any given pressure. And this becomes important when you start sizing your wire. It's exactly the same thing. The thicker the wire, the more current you can flow with the same voltage. And there's always a pressure drop or a voltage drop across a distance. So if you have a fairly long pipe, it's the same thing as having a long wire, right? Try to blow through 10 straws put together, and you'll hardly feel any air out the other end. But if you blow through one straw, you can feel that, right? But that's what happens in a fairly restricted flow regime. So you always want to make sure that you have enough wire size to be able to flow the current that you want to flow, and you don't lose too much of your pressure, right? And the pressure is the voltage. So, you know, we see this a lot of times. Somebody will run wire from the back of the cart to the front of the cart, back to the back of the cart, back to the front of the cart, and they're using 14 gauge wire. Well, you're not going to move, you're going to have a lot of voltage loss in that, and you're not going to move a lot of current because it's so long. So just keep that in mind when you do this. So let's talk power. Power is voltage times current. It's an Ohm's law thing, you can look it up. It gives you lots of different things. There's resistance in there too, and that is what we talk about with the pipe. So the longer the pipe is, the more resistance there is. And your wire is effectively a resistor. So when we talk power, it's just the multiple of voltage and current. And so don't worry too much about a power number when you're looking at wire sizes. Typically you're looking at the current flow through the wire. And so when you look for American wire gauge rating for current flow, those are typically done at the maximum temperature the insulation can get. So never go to the maximum current rating of a wire, because that means you're going to get it hot enough to be at the limit of the insulation, which means the hotter you get, the more resistance there is. If you guys start your car and ever start your car, feel the cables after you've started the car. They will be quite warm because you're moving around 400 amps through those cables. If your battery's low, the voltage goes down, the motor still needs the same power, so the current actually goes up. And that's what drains your battery even faster. And so as your battery starts getting weak and old, you know, you start cranking longer and it sounds like, you know, it just goes slower and slower. That's because you don't have enough voltage to push the amount of current you're trying to get to the motor, and it slows down. In that case, you should feel those cables because they get smoking hot. They get near the limit of the insulation. And sometimes they exceed the limit of the insulation. You'll see that the cable starts getting soft and melting. So you don't want to get anywhere close to the maximum current rating of the wire size you choose to use in your cart. For the most part, we're swinging around 7 amps off the charge controller, but the motor itself takes 25 to 30 amps. So you want to have wire size big enough to handle that. Hi, my name is Wally Stoss. I'm one of the owners here at P3 Solar. We make lightweight, portable solar panels for the outdoor enthusiast as well as the outdoor professional. We sponsor Racing the Sun because we want to educate the adults of the future on the usefulness of solar, and running their solar go-kart today gets them into the idea of renewable energy.